Hello there everyone, so today we are going to be reviewing the story Climax summon. We got a ton of Digimon to talk about, literally, so let's get on with it. But before we start, I would like to apologize for not uploading for nearly 8 days. I was away for 3 days on a scout camping trip, and when I came back I was a bit tired because I got injured there, and now I'm a bit better. I'm still recovering, I just need some rest and to work on some other stuff, and that's it. So yeah, let's get on with Wargreymon, the Climax version. Wargreymon stats are really good. The HP is awesome, the power is good, the defense is decent but nearing to good, and the speed is also good. The plugins do make a very good job of increasing the stats except for the HP, but since Wargreymon's job is to nuke, I see no problem giving a boost to the speed, making it a literal glass cannon but with the bulk of an average Super Digimon, but also nearing a bit tanky. The X skill is seriously strong and really good in terms of its attack power, and that's it. Now the main skill is really good too in terms of its ability to hit hard and also reduce the buffs of the enemies. It's actually really useful but not that much due to, again, not hitting all enemies, but that doesn't mean it's trash or anything. Now the sub-skill is really good but has its issues like not being good enough for debuffs. It mostly just removes anti-crit, which yeah is useful, but I wanted some cleansing for power and tech buffs and damage resistance too, to be honest. But at least it removes all of that from the allies, which is good, I'll give it that. But yeah, would have been nice to also have a very good debuff, since these are the climax versions of original Digimon that are in the game. So if they are gonna be giving them a very good X skill, then might as well give them a very good main and sub, honestly. Like, go all in. The passive is really good in terms of the boost, but I kind of wish there was protection for those boosts. But oh well, you can have nice things when the game is ending. Now, Wargreymon, the Climax version, is a very good support and a nuker, but with very limited things to what he can do, and trust me, I am being as nice as I can to my boy here. Even though I'm a simp for Greymons, I won't break my review code, so yeah, I'm not a piece of shit like others. So as I was saying, he is very limited to what he can do, but it doesn't mean he is garbage. It means that there are better Digimon than him, but since those Digimon are not out yet in the Japanese version, I mean in the global version, sorry, you can say that this guy is like very good for now. So yeah. Now, next up we got Metalgarurumon's Climax version stats, which are great, with the HP being really good, the tech being complete shit, the defense being really good, and the speed being okay. The plugins do a good job of increasing the stats. I would suggest you super awaken this guy further to increase the attack, because he really needs it. If you can get it to at least 13,000, that would be good. The X skill is really unique and helps out a bit in terms of the amount of times it hits and the amount of times it debuffs the enemy, and also gives the ability to make the team stronger by making them deal extra damage to enemies with all the effects in the game except for Fave for some reason. So yeah, it's really unique and cool and will help out a bit in terms of the damage. The main skill is also like the X skill, except it doesn't hit as much, but also restores Metalgarurumon's HP by a lot, and also gives blind, which can help if you have Leviamon in your team. The Leviamon CBE, which is no longer available because yeah, it's no longer available. The event is over. The sub-skill is really good, but I really feel like they could have added a debuff just like the other skills. It's a missed opportunity to make the skill extra excellent, but that doesn't mean it's trash. It's still an excellent skill overall in terms of support. The passive is really good. It's like a better Argemon passive, which is really cool, and that's it. Now, as you heard in the passive segment, this Metalgarurumon is basically a better Argemon for green teams, and since green teams have been popping off lately with Kintorusmon X and Leviamon or Craniumon X, whoever you want to use as an attacker, it doesn't really matter to be honest, and Noble Pumpkinmon in the team, this Metalgarurumon is a really nice addition to the team in case you wanna add a Heavy Leomon. So yeah, you got your extra layer of toxicness, because why the fuck not, you piece of shit. And yeah, that's it for the main Digimon. So right now we got other Digimon that are in the banner. I will not be talking about all of them because the video will be an hour long by then. I will only be mentioning the ones that are worth mentioning and are still useful for both beginners and for people who are still looking for like good options to use in case they do not have the best options. So yeah, I will start with the ones available in the global version first, since there are different Digimon in both versions of this banner. So yeah. Also, before we start, I will not be using clips for the Digimon we are about to talk about because yeah, it's gonna be a pain to get all of those. So I'll just be putting an icon on top of the screen, the top right of the screen or the left, I'll see, and that will tell you which ones I'm talking about because there are still different versions. So yeah, and I'll also be putting their personality so that you know which ones I'm talking about. First, we got Omegamon Alter S, who is sort of useful if you are going for a yellow team for fun, but aside from that, he's not great at all because his anti-crit can be easily removed and that's all what he is useful for. Next up, we got Omegamon Alter B, who is really useful for clash searches if you are completely out of options and only got this guy, but that's it, not even for Rookie Strat or PvP since he is really nearing to his deathbed already. If not already on the deathbed and already dead. Next up we got Wargreymon, who is still useful for Clash and will help you out, but that's it. And after that we got Metalgarurumon, who is also the same as the Wargreymon. Next up we got Gaiamon, who is still really useful as a speed slave for PvP for a full depth team if you still wanna do that. Next up we got Vidramon, who is still a bit useful against spirals who are annoying with their dot effects, but you mostly wanna have an immunity for that, not a Digimon who can clean those, so yeah, Vidramon has limited usage. After that we got Phoenixmon, who is really outdated with all what he can do, the heal, the buffs and the damage, and yeah, I just wouldn't recommend using him. Then we got Rasenmon GM, who is also outdated. There are better things than this guy that you can use to one-shot teams, and yeah, you can use him for rookie strategy if you want to, but I really wouldn't recommend it, to be honest. Unless he's a favorite of yours and you wanna somehow find a use for him, then yeah, there you go, rookie strategy. Next up we got Rasenmon, who is also outdated unless you are completely out of options for defense debuffing for PvP, or if you wanna do a Rasenmon only team, he can be only useful for those two options, but I would not choose it for option 1 honestly, since there are really better options overall. Next up we got Metalgarurumon, who is also an outdated Digimon. There are better options in terms of the debuff and in terms of the nuking than this guy, but you can use him for, again, rookie strategy, but I would advise against it, to be honest, since he doesn't even hit all of the Digimon. Next up we got Imperial Mom Fighter Mode. Now Imperial Mom is also kind of outdated, but he can be used in Clash to remove the annoying Blind, Skill Lock and Fade, and to also give out some extra damage since the only other Digimon that can remove Blind is Yellow Sakrimon, and she is really outdated already. So yeah, Imperial Mom is still useful for Clash, and that's it. Next up we got Vidramon, who is still really useful for his ability to tank. He is still the number 1 Digimon to go to for tanking stuff, but that is until the Digimon from the Japan version come out, which as of me writing the script, we don't know when they will come out or if they will even come out. Next up we got Yukomon, who is still really good to use as a power support for Clash, and he will really help out a lot in terms of the support and the damage as well. Next up we got Bilzimon, who is more like a clone of Omegamon that hits really hard in both the main and the sub skill. He is still really useful and will help out a bit if you want to go for a calm team, but he does need some support to make him shine even more, so yeah. Next up we got Sakrimon, who is really nice to have but not the best to use since there are better options. However, it doesn't mean she is trash. She is good in calm teams, but if you're gonna use her as a healer, then you're better off with something else like Noble Pumpkinmon. And the last Digimon we got in the global banner, he is a nice support for calm Digimon, for Flash if you are out of options, that is. And yeah, that's it. But you are better off with other Digimon, honestly. And that Digimon is Metalgarurumon. So yeah. And now for the Japan version, starting with Agumon, Bond of Courage. So yeah, who is also outdated unless you are making a Greymon team like me, in which case he is still really garbage because of his ability to not one-shot well. After that we got Gabumon, Bond of Friendship, who is even worse than Gabumon. I mean Agumon, to be honest. So yeah, he is even worse. We already got stuff that can do better things than this guy, so don't even bother using him unless you want to simp for this piece of trash. Next up we got Omegamon, who is still really kind of useful for a rookie strat team if you are planning for that, but if you aren't, then no need to use it because we got other Digimon that can do better and have more stuff than this guy. And if you're gonna use this guy for rookie strat, then make sure he is one of the rookies, so like don't evolve him. Next up we got Susanomon, who is still sort of useful if you are planning for a power depth team, but that would be seriously hard to do considering there aren't a lot of power depth Digimon in the game yet. So yeah, there are better stuff overall than this guy who hit more stuff. The issue with this guy already is he doesn't hit a lot of stuff. So yeah, he is still useful though, so that's a bonus for living that much. Next up we got Omegamon Merciful Mode, who is still really useful for a power team for the support he gives and does for the team, and also his ability to hit the enemy really hard with the tons of hard hitting dot effects. But if they're immune to them, then just focus on something else in the team for the killing. So yeah, just make him be a support Digimon if the enemy is immune, and yeah, use something else. After that we got Imperial Mom Paladin mode, who is really useful for his ability to debuff the enemy and also act as a more aggressive Golfman, so he is really useful still, and I would recommend using him in a calm team, but that's where he will shine a lot. So yeah, if you don't use a calm team, or more likely a tech team that will make him hit harder, then he won't really shine. After that we got Omegamon Ultra B, who is an okay Digimon to use, but you need to use him well to know how strong he is. So definitely use him with the right support in Flash only or in PvP, but with the rookie strat if people still do that nowadays. Next up we got Xman, who is a really good support Digimon for both an only dev team and also for a normal team. So definitely hope to get this guy, but don't go too deep because again there are a lot of Digimon in this banner, and unless you are new, no need to drop your entire college fund into this. Next up we got Kaiser Ray, who is still really useful for Flash. He is still the top Digimon for damage to this day, but just like I said the last time I talked about him, you need to know the correct timing to use him and to also know how to use him, otherwise you just won't be getting a lot of damage on spirals. Next up we got Argemon, who is basically a weaker Metalgarurumon Climax version, so yeah. Just don't bother with this guy. Get Metalgarurumon, and hey, if you got him, then yippee, collection. Next up we got Greymon, who is super outdated, not even for a brave PvP team, so yeah, don't bother. After that we got Mirage Galgamon, who is sort of outdated as well. There are overall better Digimon that can do better, but he can still be used if you got nothing. After that we got Ulver's Vidramon, who is also outdated. Just dump it with Ulver's X already, for God's sake. No need to waste your first turn. After that we got Black Wargreymon, who is also really outdated because there are better Digimon like Xman and Yukomon X. So no need to bother. But if you got him, then hey, collection or something like that. After that we got Golfman, who is a bit outdated but can still be used if you got nothing, and also can be used for a dev team if people still make those. After that we got Justimon, who is a bit useful if you are completely out of options for a dev team, and that's it. After that we got Shurubimon, the evil version, who is one of those rare Digimon that I would tell you to use in a power dev team if you want to, since again those are very rare, so go ahead. After that we got Bancho Stingmon, the main stand for a power team really useful for that due to the amount of support he does, but make sure he is really tanky, otherwise your dev team will fall apart faster than the enemies that the original Rasenman anniversary used to kill. After that we got Alphamon, who is a really good support Digimon for power types in Clash. He helps out a lot in terms of damage and the support. After that we got Lord Knightmon or Crusadermon, who is another good support Digimon for power types, and he will help out a lot, so I really recommend using him for Clash. After that we got Magnaman, who is still a really good support for Underworld Dungeon and PvP in terms of the support he gives for defense and the immunity, and also the outright power buff as well. And lastly, we got Golden Rapidmon, who is mostly just a Clashmon, but even then he is not even recommended, so yeah, you can use him for that sub-skill and that's it, honestly, nothing else. You can use him for rookie strategy if you like him that much, but yeah. And yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like the video, hit those bells so that you don't miss any video. And yeah, I am really sorry for not uploading. I was kind of a bit tired, but I was also planning for some other videos. This will be my last review video for this game, unless of course something releases, which I don't know if it will happen, but I'll see. Honestly, like I'm hoping something releases. I really want to see a Super Brave Wargreymon X or something like that. I'm really hoping, but we'll see. And yeah, I hope you had fun with the game. I kind of did. I will be doing a review video for the entire game, but yeah, that will be my last review video. So yeah, this video is just my last review video for like new Digimon. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed, and I also hope you enjoyed my videos for the review. And yeah, I'm honestly speechless and also kind of sad, to be honest, but yeah, I'll see you all later. Good luck summoning, and be sure to have fun. With the last amount of time you got with your Digimon and with the game. So yeah, I'll see you all later.